game.
If there's one thing us gamers like to do, it's get in a mech and blow the crap out of each other. Armored Core 5 is a terrible game to play on your own. If you don't have friends to play this with, you're going to have a very bad time. It also takes a lot of commitment. You can't just jump in and start meching. You need to do some research and understand how everything works. But there are some fantastic ideas here that might just make it worth your while.
The concept is simple enough. Build a mech, fight enemies to get cash, build a better mech. There's a huge amount of depth in knowing how to go about this effectively.
Let's start by talking about the story. I have no idea what this game is about. I don't know what was going on at any stage. I'm fighting some guys, there's some other guys, there's a train going around. It's all told with text and the old little cutscene.
Well, good luck then. I hope you like your present. Goodbye.
But the voice acting is so bad. In fact, two of the characters sound exactly the same, and I thought in the first mission this person was just having a conversation with themselves.
I'm coming with you. We're running out of time. Come on! Are you okay, Rosary? We'll be leaving the residential sector soon. No problems yet. But you're coming with us, right? The old me would have laughed at the idea, but I guess I've changed. Maybe money isn't everything. Oh well, I was ready for a change anyway.
Yeah, but to be fair, this isn't really the kind of game that you really play for the story. I mean, this is about building and shooting things with your friends.
Main system. Activating combat mode.
The campaign is filled with many very short missions. Some of them are only a minute long.
Mission objective complete.
Story ones are slightly longer and they'll see you working through basic checkpoints and fighting a variety of enemies. It's mostly very basic mission design, but there are some fun and stressful fights. The levels feel empty and don't look that great despite a strong futuristic concept behind them.
I found that heads-up display really visually intrusive too. It's got the ammo on the outside of the reticule, which is a bit strange, and also just trying to see an enemy's health can be quite difficult. The levels also feel really boxy. They're quite open, but you still feel like you're trapped in a small world.
I mean, it's almost as if the depth of field is just off a bit.
Yeah, you should be able to have a sense of freedom, you know, and flying about in this giant mech and going all over the place, but I just felt so restricted the whole time.
The ceilings are quite low too, I thought. You get to the top of a building, you often have to get straight back down again, or you'll be out of the combat zone. The game also doesn't teach you well enough about basic things like how you can repair, rearm, and reload at workshops around the place.
Also, to add a good amount of stress to your actions, everything you do costs money, whether repairing or buying ammo, and this means things can go pear-shaped pretty quickly, and you can come out of a match with a negative balance, especially if you take a human player in, because you have to split the winnings with them. But then this is from the developer that brought us Dark Souls and Demon Souls, so they're very good at giving you something punishing but then rewarding you when you get better at it.
Yeah, this is a developer that also doesn't know how to build a menu. I mean, come on, they're a nightmare. And even when you do finally get the hang of them, you'll be thrown out of that workshop all the time by accident.
Why? Why do they build such horrible menus? There's so much great inspiration out there, there's no reason for it. It's just a massive troll.
Building your mech and seeing it in action is a joy though. There's so many parts to play with and you'll need to balance 3 types of damage: thermal, chemical, and kinetic. You'll need to have a range of weapons to cover your bases when fighting enemies though, because some enemies will only have a weakness to one of the damage types, so your other weapons won't be much use at all.
And that construction of your mech is the meat of this game, isn't it? Because it's all about that balance and getting the right amount of weight and different types of weapons and your speed and your boost recharge and just putting all that together to suit your play style. And it takes a long time to get your head around and afford, and I think you'd just be lost in that for days.
Managing your ammo and your movement energy on the battlefield is really important too.
PC severely damaged. Take evasive energy depleted.
You don't want to run out of energy and be stuck in the water when a flurry of missiles are coming towards you. I found controlling my mech just a little bit awkward, Barjo. I mean, there's 3 weapons fire buttons, so combat is frantic, and there are just some rough edges, like climbing buildings. If you're not dead on while you're moving up, then you can randomly dash to the side, which is infuriating.
Yeah, that happens to me all the time. There are some interesting ideas for online play though. You can hire yourself out as a merc to help others, and they can help you as well. Some of the more interesting online modes like Conquest we couldn't actually test out just because we didn't have enough team points and there aren't enough people playing this game, but we did have a few goes of the Versus mode. This is where the game really shines, and there are some incredible players out there. In fact, in one game, we all ganged up on this one player, so we'll take him down first, and then we can all, you know, attack each other, and he just smashed us all in about a minute. Hex, I want to get to the nitty-gritty of this game and learn everything about it, but I'm not sure that I can commit.
But do you think this will be like a cult slow burn that'll get more popular over time, like Demon Souls?
I want it to, I really do, but I don't think it will. I don't think the game looks good enough, and that will be a big barrier for people, so there just won't be enough people playing it at any given time to get the most out of it.
To me, it just felt like half a game. It's like they built a really great mech construction simulator with fantastic ideas and online and combat, but I don't know, everything else just felt really undercooked.
Yeah, and it's a real shame because I can see competitive potential with that operator mode where one person is the commander of the battlefield and spots for their teammates, and with a full team that would just be awesome, but I don't know, maybe it will take off. There's something magical and nostalgic about mech games.
So what are you giving it?
I'm gonna give it 6 out of 10.
It's 5 out of 10 from me.